Bullshit.
It's the No BS Marketing Show. I'm Dave Mastovich, CEO of Massolutions, the world's only no bullshit marketing firm. If you're a small business owner and Small Business Saturday fell off your radar this year, this episode is for you because I'm sharing some ideas and tips that you can implement as soon as this podcast is over. That being said, my first tip is going to require some effort, but it's worth it in the long run, and it's to assess your marketing efforts as a whole. This tip isn't exclusive to Small Business Saturday either. This should be something that you do on a regular basis to ensure you're consistently serving your target audience with content they want and care about. I believe if you want your marketing ROI to grow and be significant, you need to start by clearly defining your target markets. Not who you want your target market to be, but who it really is. Not who you think your target markets are, but who they really are. Then you need to find out what they think, feel, and want by asking them and listening to what they say, doing something with the feedback you hear. When you ask your customers basic open-ended questions, it becomes marketing intel, market research. So you can ask open-ended questions, listen to what they say, track it, then do something with it. Don't be that stubborn person who hears some feedback, but then just doesn't do anything with it. So you can find out what they think, feel, and want through marketing intel, and then do something with it. So if you start with those two things, target market segmentation and marketing intel, market research, you can make some inroads. But I want to emphasize again, you need to be willing to listen and tweak your products and services accordingly so you can give it to them when and where they want it at a price they're willing to pay. Clearly defining the target markets gives you information you don't currently have. You're guessing who your target markets are. You're thinking who your target markets are, or you're dreaming that your target markets are someone they aren't. So doing that part and then doing the marketing intel, that's what gives you the information that you need to listen to so you can tweak your products and services, and that enables you to give it to your customers when and where they want it at a price they're willing to pay. And then you can tell them about it again and again and again, and that's when you start to get real results through real marketing. If you can define your marketing in this manner, you will have a marketing ROI that's significant. For the sake of this episode, let's assume you've done your marketing intel and you know who makes up your target audiences, as well as their interests, pain points, questions, likes, dislikes, etc. Which leads to my second tip, which is to tell your story. As a small business, you have the ability to leverage emotion in your storytelling. You're part of the David and Goliath narrative as you compete against big corporations for consumer attention. Use your story as a way to show gratitude to your loyal customers. Talk about the origin story of your company. How did your company come about? That story is so compelling. That's what the No BS Marketing Show does. Whether we're talking to Janet Stout of Special Pathogens Laboratory, or Mark Marmo of Deep Well Services, Chris Brodman of Metz Lewis Brodman, Lorianne Poutier of IntegraCare, their stories about how they began the business, their why, are compelling, whether it's 5, 10, 20, 30 years later. Tell people what the business means to you, what your customers mean to your business, and ultimately answer those 2 why questions that I reference so many times in our marketing efforts at Mass Solutions for our clients and as part of the No BS Marketing Platform, the platform being the blog, keynotes, workshops, podcasts, videos, appearances on media outlets. And the 2 why questions are your why or reason for being and your customer's why or reason for buying. Answer those questions. The answers will be different, but hopefully a little bit similar. Turn that into your big idea advantage. Be sure to tell this story on the platforms where your audience spends the most time and deliver it in a way that they want to consume it, because each of us consumes content differently. For instance, if your audience responds better to video, which most do, the vast majority of audiences do, take the time to make a quick, organic clip. You make a quick clip that's just something natural, authentic that's going on. If your audience reads, publish a blog post, but share some pictures from over the years that you can promote on your social channels. Remember, your story is your pillar content and your big idea advantage. So use that all to reach your audience by tweaking it to fit within the context of the social media platform you're posting to. Creating content that's consumer-centric will help you strengthen the emotional connection between your customers and your business, not just on Small Business Saturday, but throughout the year. My third tip is to feature other small businesses on your social media channels. Businesses will commonly provide discounts and freebies for their customers to show their gratitude. But I think another way to look at this holiday is to use it as a means to give back to and recognize other small businesses in your community. This year, consider taking the time to spotlight other small businesses that you work with and give them a shout out. Let them know how their services or goods help your company. Maybe you have a point of contact who's reliable and always makes sure you have everything you need. Whatever the case may be, use Small Business Saturday as a way to recognize them and their work by tagging and featuring them on your social platforms. This is something you can do after listening to the show. This is not, every one of these tips are not things that you go, oh, geez, I heard it the Wednesday before Small Business Saturday, can't get to it. No, you can get to this stuff. At the core of small business is reciprocity. At the core of almost any business is reciprocity. When someone gives us something, we want to pay them back. It's a part of every culture. It's universal. And it's important to give back to the businesses that help you keep the lights on. And they'll give back to you. That's what reciprocity is all about. My fourth and final tip is the culmination of the others, and that is to get social. In this social media-centric world we're living in, all of these tips tie back to having a presence on social media. This year, in addition to content creation, take time to get social and interact online with your Chamber of Commerce, other local businesses, and your target audience. Again, this is not something that you can't just do. Now that you know it, go ahead and interact online with your Chamber of Commerce, other local businesses, your target audiences, I should say. Join in on conversations and comment on other small businesses' content, because social media, no matter the holiday or time of year, is all about creating a dialogue rather than focusing on a monologue. When you engage with others on social media, you're in turn expanding your brand's reach and humanizing your business in the eyes of your target audience, which are both essential aspects of continued growth. If you decide to use these 4 ideas, or an idea of your own popped into your head while listening to this podcast, I want you to remember one thing, and that is that everything you do, whether it's for Small Business Saturday or not, should be consumer focused. Always pay attention to where their attention lies.